So you know this wasn't going to end. You just knew this wasn't going to end. And I told you guys it wasn't going to end. And it's just getting ridiculous now. It's getting absolutely ridiculous now. And unless it is now a thing where if you do not call Fever fans the big word that ends in ist, aka if you do not call the Fever fans, all those kids, by the way, all those kids in attendance, all those kids, it doesn't matter what race you are. If you are of the same race as Caitlin Clark, you are the scum of the earth. If you are the same race as Angel Reese, you are the last 4 letters of raccoon. Like, this is not about basketball, and it's not about basketball any of these people. So, if you guys agree this is nonsense, subscribe. We are so close to 48,000 subscribers, lads. We're 100 off. We'd hit that by the end of the day. I'd be insane. We are going for 50k by the All-Star break. If we could do that, that would be ridiculous. But anyway, we got to talk about it because we saw this tweet. And this is a tweet from someone who was courtside, by the way. And let's just say this right now. What we know as facts. The investigation was about fans in the vicinity of the court. So courtside fans. Fans around the court. It is not about what happened in section 187. It is not about one fan saying something in section 187 because there's no way to prove or deny that. To prove or disprove that. There is no way to prove or disprove any of that. Everything is he said, she said. And to be honest, there's 18,000 people. Just like in anything in life, there are going to be bad. If you have 18,000 of people of anybody, of any kind in one building, there's bound to be a few bad eggs, no matter what it is. No matter what it is in life. So yes, there could have been something in section 145 or 245 in the very corner where someone says something to someone beside them. But both teams' coaches confirmed they heard nothing. Both teams' coaches confirmed nothing was heard in the game. So, someone posts on Twitter, a person who was courtside at the game, and by the way, is like quite a few of their fans, it seems, a 1 million follower Twitter account, goes, being in attendance at the Indiana Fever game, it was sickening to watch social media create a story to support its narrative. None of the things they claimed happened took place. I was there. All those people did was cheered and booed. That was nasty work. They got so much abuse that they took down the tweet. They got so much abuse. They had to delete the tweet because they got so much abuse. And people are trying to gaslight a person who was there. People that were not there were trying to gaslight a person who was courtside, saying, that's like saying just because, that's like you saying just because I didn't hear something doesn't mean someone in the next room heard something. It's like, he was courtside. The investigation, the WNBA specified, let's be real, the WNBA specified that the investigation was courtside. They specified in the vicinity of the court. So you would assume courtside or near courtside. We've investigated a report of racist fan behavior in the vicinity of the court. In the vicinity of the court. They're trying to tell someone who was courtside they didn't hear it. And the person who made the allegation that went viral was not at the game. Was almost certainly not at the game. And if they were at the game, the photos they were using to prove they were at the game was not of a commercially available ticket. I've seen that person post a photo of the game. Of them saying, this is where I sat at the game. Do you want to know what they found? They found a media picture. They put a picture up and they said, I was in this section. And then somebody literally that was in the section they said that they were in, they refused to say what section they were in. They just said 200 plus. Person who was in the sections 200, it was like, that's clearly not section 200 because I sat in first row of section 210 or something. And you could see you're above the Jumbotron in 200 and this person was below the Jumbotron. So they were in a completely different section. They was a completely different section. Like, and not only that, these are the same people. The people that forced this guy to delete the tweet are the same people that have sent so much abuse towards the Wanna Bonner, that have sent so much abuse towards Aaliyah Boston. The WNBA needs to put an asterisk. There's no space for hate unless you play for the Indiana Fever. Or there's no space for Kate. They need to change that motto. They need to change that motto. When the players don't help, the historic fans don't help. And again, these Twitter accounts have too much power. I'm sorry. It is like, imagine basing an investigation on a Lake Show Yo tweet. And they probably will, because Lake Show Yo photoshopped Angel Reese into a Minnesota Timberwolves jersey. Photoshopped Angel Reese into a Timberwolves jersey and said Julius Randle in Game 4. There's probably going to be an investigation. When it comes to the Chicago Sky posted, We appreciate the quick action the league and the Indiana Fever to take this matter seriously and investigate. This process demonstrates the league's strong stance. So basically, thank you for investigating this. We probably knew nothing had happened. And by the way, I'm not blaming the Sky for this. I don't think the Chicago Sky started the investigation. Nor was I blaming Angel Reese initially. However, Angel Reese coming out there and refusing to say that she didn't hear anything, and refusing to say, look, I think I didn't hear anything, something was heard, and they decided to investigate that, and I'm glad there's an investigation, because just anything. She could have said what Bree Turner said. It's always better to be safe than sorry in investigation, and the WNBA needs to be a safe place for all players, so I appreciate the WNBA investigating this matter. She could have said anything, not, it's so hard to hear that. Hear what? All she heard, she didn't hear anything, because her coach confirmed nothing was heard by the players. She heard boos. They cheered when she missed a free throw. No one wants that, by the way. Nobody wants to be booed. Unless you are freaking Trae Young or something. Unless you're one of those type of fans. Like, there are players in that league that definitely want to be booed by away fans. There are players in the league that definitely want to. But very few of them do. Let's be real. But unfortunately, that comes to the territory of sports. Like, very few people like death threats. But it comes to the territory about talking about the sports, because every single fan base of the WNBA, including Fever, have sent one to me. Including the Fever fans. It's not just 11 bad ones, 1 good ones. And to be fair, when I say every fan base, Atlanta Dream fans, you're cool. You're cool. Washington Mystics fans, you're great. It's really just Aces, Liberty, Fever, Sky, aka the teams that actually have fans, because as everyone knows, the more fans a team has, the more crazy fans the team has. And that works in all situations. Just like in the WNBA, the Lakers fans, the Warriors fans are crazy. It doesn't mean every single Lakers fan is bad or every single Warriors fan is bad. But in life, there is always people that will understand situations, except when it comes to the WNBA, because these people do not give one flying fuck about the sport of basketball. They don't care about the sport of basketball. And these people just want to say, CC bad, fans bad. And they want to, like, again, we always have to say this. These people's goal is to bully Caitlin Clark out of the league. That is it. They are bullies. They are not basketball fans. They don't care about basketball. They are bullies. They probably can't even name 5 players on the Phoenix Mercury. And I mean this. Take away the Fever and the Sky. They're probably huge Fever fans because they can name every player on the Fever's team, because they've been giving them, they've been hurling slurs at those players so they can name all those players. I can guarantee you these people can't name 5 players in the Phoenix Mercury. They probably can't. I can guarantee you these players don't know who Monica Cole-McCanny is, who's been one of the best rookies this year. I can guarantee they don't. I can guarantee you they don't know who Kitty Alexa is. Like, and that's the funny thing, is I can guarantee these people, they just want to bully Caitlin Clark out of the league so that they can get their club back. They can get their club back. Caitlin Clark has ruined their club. They want no players to play for the Indiana Fever, so they want to bully. They want to try convince players to never go to the Fever. They tried to do it last year and it didn't work. Cheryl Swoops tried to do it and it didn't work. They all tried to do it and get players out of Indiana. It did not work. It didn't work. None of it worked. And they're now trying even harder by spewing false narratives about players. And that person had to take down the tweet. And they're just coming out with just random tweets about basketball to try take the heat off them. And I'm sorry, you take the damn heat. Take the damn heat. Be honest. You were in attendance in the game. You were courtside. Nothing happened. We know nothing happened. Nothing happened in the vicinity of the players. And again, to say that nothing happened overall is something that can never be proved or denied. That's not something that can be proved or denied. And I mean that. There is no way to prove or deny it. But I'm sorry, there are thousands of people that said nothing happened, of all ages, genders, and races. There is one person who was at the game that claimed, that was sitting at the very back of the stadium, that claimed they heard a bunch of stuff being said towards the players the entire game. One person, by the way, in a section where there's 1,000 people of all ages, genders, and races. Apparently, not one person in that section heard anything, but one person did. And again, I'm not questioning. I'm not saying that there's an impossibility of that happening. It's not an impossibility. But the reality is, the most likely situation is that there was a bunch of people that were shocked the sports fans were sports fans. And Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. The Chicago Sky fans were pissed that their team lost by 35 points, so they started tweeting out some mad stuff about the Fever fans. They were pissed they were getting killed, and the WNBA jumped the gun on an investigation. That's the most likely thing that happened. The WNBA jumped the gun, and they done goofed. They done goofed. But now you've got players being called, you've got people courtside being called the last 4 letters of the animal raccoon. being hurled slurs by those fans. These fans are throwing slurs at these people for literally saying, and I mean this. It is now, people are throwing slurs at people for saying, and by the way, these are not quote unquote Fever fans. These are the bullies. Because I don't know who they're, I won't even say Sky fans because they're not Sky fans. I'm not going to say Aces fans because they're not Aces fans. These people are just bullies. They are bullies. There's no other way to describe it. Obviously there are internet trolls, and to say there's not people on all sides, that's fine. And you can make that argument. You can use whataboutisms in every single argument, if we're being honest. You can counter any point with whataboutisms, and just if you want to throw a whataboutism at me, it doesn't make my point any less valid. These people, and the funny thing is that there's a lot of people that are always, you always be defensive a lot of the time if you're not one of the bad ones, and they're claiming, and there's maybe there's 5 bad people, and they're talking about 18,000 people. It is crazy. But yeah, someone at the game is being gaslit by fans into deleting a post. Someone at the game who was courtside, because they basically said, I was at the game, heard nothing other than booing and cheering, which is normal. And again, this person was courtside. But apparently, some people in section 217, where you're looking above the jumbotron, could hear exactly what was being said courtside towards players. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. And the tweet's gone now. The tweet was deleted now. You could see how quickly these people were turning on this person. And you know what? It's for the best. It's for the best. It's for the best to not start World War Z on your account. And unfortunately, I'm making money off WNBA, so I have to talk about it. And unfortunately, I've talked about this topic. You better believe if these videos weren't the best and they weren't probably making more money, I wouldn't talk about it. But at the end of the day, I also feel that it's important to talk about these situations, because I don't think letting the bullies win does anyone any good, to be honest. But anyway, I'll see you guys.